Okay, here a day in the park. We've seen some great acts on the main stage, and I'm here now with Mr. John Digweed. John, hello, welcome.
Thanks for having us.
How did you find it out there? Because obviously there's a lot of rain and mud, but what was your view of the whole site today?
I mean, it should have been called a rainy day in the mud, but the crowd stayed, 100% respect for them. It's pretty cold as well on top of the rain, but the crowd have been great today. Definitely that party spirit that the Dutch people have. They've come here to hear good music, and they're staying through. I mean, it's tough when the weather's like this because it's this kind of cold that kind of goes through your bones. It's strange. It almost feels like January, not the middle of summer. But as I said, fantastic crowd here. I can only imagine what it's like on a beautiful summer's day here. The reaction from the crowd would just be ballistic. So, I had a great reaction off the crowd. It's just a shame the weather is what it is, but you've got to make the most of it in these situations. Being a promoter myself, the only thing you can't count for is the weather. You can book all the DJs, the sound, but you can't control nature on this one. So.
Absolutely. Well, like you say, you wouldn't believe it's summer, but it is. And of course, summer for you is always silly season, lots and lots of traveling. Can you tell us a bit about how your summer's been so far?
Yeah, I mean, pretty hectic. Places like Croatia, Ibiza opening. I was in Turkey last night. Last weekend was Kos, and also did the El Roar in Barcelona, did that for the first time, which was amazing. So just been kind of whizzing all around the place. Cyprus played there last week as well, so it's all pretty good stuff. The club and environment out there seems to be pretty healthy. Lots of parties going on. One thing's for sure, people aren't tired of going out and having a good time.
Absolutely. And one thing really interesting, obviously, for Bedrock Records, you have the Structures 2, which I think is out last weekend or the weekend before?
A couple of weeks ago, so yeah.
A couple of weeks ago, and that's a 3-disc. Obviously, you had the set recorded in LA, and you have a chill-out mix as well, and then another mix. Can you tell the viewers to 365mag.com a little bit about the approach to Structures 2, please?
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to approach this one a little bit different. I asked quite a few of the artists that have had releases on the label, and I listened to specific tracks, and I thought, well, that could lend itself to something a bit more down tempo, a bit more chilled out. Asked them if they wouldn't mind having a go at doing something like that, and I was, really impressed with the end results. And I just thought, we haven't done an album like this since Layered Sounds, which is about 2005. So I wanted to put together something which kind of reflected the label, but was also something for people to have at the after party or by the pool, or just have on in the background as a kind of nice sort of just not dance floor kind of tracks. So I think we delivered on that. The club mix, which was recorded at Avalon in Los Angeles, that speaks for itself. It was like a snapshot of my recent gig there. And then the third CD, I wanted to showcase my kind of A&R skills and just put together 10 tracks that are unreleased and exclusive for the label, just to give an all-round package, something for everyone. I think in this day and age, you've got to do more than just put out a mix CD. You've got to kind of, try and incorporate as many things that are going to keep people interested. We try and keep the nice packaging. We didn't do a DVD this time. We did it on the last one. Might do something on the next project. But it's just about trying to make good value content and good releases, which is what I think Bedrock stands for now.
Sure, I'd agree with that, and certainly also in the singles market as well. Bedrock Records has been going for well over a decade now. I believe it's 12 years now. And you actually have got a couple of albums, artist albums in the pipeline, Guy J and Marco Bailey, is that correct, that they're on the way?
Marco and Guy's albums both came out in February and end of April. So, we've been working those throughout the year. Marco does incredibly well for us on the label. I think people would have probably not associated him with Bedrock a few years ago, but his sound, he just makes great club tracks. And Guy obviously did Esperanza a couple of years ago. He's followed it up with 1,000 Words, which I think is a a fantastic follow-up album. Just shows Guy's kind of strength as a producer and a musician. He can turn himself to doing an album of kind of down-tempo, real sort of cinematic style tracks, and then an album full of sort of club tracks. So he's definitely a raw talent. He's been sending me more and more tracks. He's like, the guy's on fire at the moment. He's almost got another album ready already, and I slow down. We're still promoting the one we just put out. So, but for the label, it's good. I think if we can showcase artists on an album form, I think it's good for the label, and I think it's good for the artists to show that they're not just someone that can just turn out a couple of club tracks. They're someone that can put together something of album material, which is what they've both delivered.
Maybe also someone like the likes of Henry Says as well, sort of pushing.
We've got another album coming up later on in the year from someone I can't mention at the moment, but he's put together a great double album of original tracks and songs. So that's in the pipeline. And obviously we just released Oliver Leeds EP on the label. We've got tracks coming out from Psychotron. We've got Maxine Dangles, which I played tonight, which is probably one of the biggest reactions of the night. Just this mental, mad, acid sort of techno track. He's put together a 4-track EP, which all the tracks I've been playing have just been getting great reactions. So I think on the whole, I want the Bedrock label to stand for good music, whether it's kind of houseier stuff, whether it's sort of melodic, or whether it's sort of really hard, sort of tough techno sounds. I think, I want people to, when they see the release, think, well, whatever genre it might be, and it's going to be good quality. So I think we've kind of achieved that goal over the last few years, and people trust what we release.
And of course, I should mention also, you have a fantastic platform for your music and also the new artists. When you have the transition show, when you go to johndigweed.com, instantly the real player kicks in and you can stream the transition show, which I believe is syndicated also worldwide to about 50 odd countries. How do you find fitting in the transition show? How does it fit in with the club approach and breaking new music to the audience?
I get sent so much music every week that it'd be impossible for me to play all that stuff out in the club. So it gives me an opportunity to play a lot of records that I like. That a lot of times you're in the headline slot, so there's a lot of the cooler house and stuff that you want to play. But if you started playing it at peak time, people would be like, "What's he playing this warm-up music for?" So unless I'm doing a long set, I can only incorporate those kind of tracks. So I think the radio show gives me a chance to showcase a lot of really good, cool music, along with some of the sort of clubbier stuff. But I try not to replicate what I play in the clubs on the radio station, because it seems pointless to do, well, this is my club set and here's my radio set and it's both the same. There's so much good music out there. Why not show that I've got range with what I appreciate from producers? It gives me an opportunity to, as I said, play those records. And they're great music, and also I think a lot of that stuff sounds better on radio. They've really put those records together so well. You hear them in a different context, and they stand out more.
Absolutely. Well, just finally, before we let you get off to Turkey tomorrow, I believe it is. Barcelona.
Montenegros Fest. It was Turkey last night.
I
can't keep up either.
Just before you head off, just to finally ask you, I think you've got space in 2 weeks' time with Carl.
We're doing a Bedrock night at Space on the Friday, come together, and then a couple of weeks after that I'm back with Carl on the 30th of August. So 2 nights in August, which I'm really happy about. In Space, they've updated the sound system, the club's great, always attracts a headstrong crowd that want to hear good music. It's not so much VIP based or sort of tourists. People that go there want to go there to hear good music on a loud sound system. So that's what I like playing to.
Absolutely. And just finally, as we're mid-summer season, as I said at the start of the interview, what's coming up for fall? Is there anything for autumn that we should really know about for John Digweed and for Bedrock?
Well, there's the Bedrock Arena at Global Gathering, that's next weekend, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed and touching wood that the weather that's in Holland doesn't start heading over to England. But ticket sales are really good for that already, so I think it's going to be a great event. right through. I mean, I've got festivals. I'm doing a Mayan show in Los Angeles, which is one of my favourite places. It's an old theatre, and I do a Wednesday night, which, you know, in LA is quite a hard night to do stuff, but it only attracts people that want to come and hear me play. So it's not like a Saturday night where you've got people that want to hear me and, you know, people that are out for a Saturday night. It's purely a dance crowd, so that's really good. I'm going back to Denver. I've got a festival in Kansas, and in September I'm doing Electric Zoo in New York, which is a fantastic festival. Circus in Montreal. So yeah, it's all kind of all over the place. A few trips across to North America, but then all the stuff in Europe as well. So it's busy, but it's good. You know, I wouldn't change anything for the world.
Fantastic.
Maybe a few more hours sleep, but apart from that.
I can imagine. Well, we'll let you go and get some sleep now, John. Many thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Thanks, John. Cheers.